नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका मेरे YouTube चैनल में। और हम इस बुक सीरीज़ में आज स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं द बुक ऑफ सीक्रेट्स 112 मेडिटेशंस टू डिस्कवर द मिस्ट्री विद इन ओशो बाय ओशो। ओके, चलिए अब ये प्रेफेस है, इंट्रोडक्शन। चलिए इंट्रोडक्शन है, प्रेफेस है, कंटेंट ये मुझे, और मैंने किंडल में इसे डाउनलोड की है। तो स्टार्ट हम करते हैं। ये प्रेफेस था, और प्रेफेस के बाद हम लोग आते हैं कहाँ, पेज 1 में आना है। हाँ, द वर्ल्ड ऑफ तंत्रा। चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। द शूद्रा देवी आस्क ओ शिवा, व्हाट इज़ योर रियलिटी? ओ शिवा, व्हाट इज़ योर रियलिटी? व्हाट इज़ द वंडर फिल्ड यूनिवर्स? What constitutes seed? Who centers the universal wheel? What is this life beyond from pervading forms? How may we enter it fully above space and time? Names and descriptions. Let my doubts be cleared. Some introductory points. First, the word of Vigyan Bhairav. Tantra is not intellectual, it is not philosophical. Doctrine is meaningless. Okay, doctrine is meaningless to it. It is concerned with method, with the technique, not with principles at all. The word tantra means technique, the method, the path. So it is not philosophical. Not this. Okay, note this. It is not concerned with intellectual problems and inquiries. Okay, it is not concerned with the why of things. It is concerned with how, not with how, not with what is truth, but how the truth can be attained. Tantra means technique. So this treatise is a significant one. Science is not concerned with the why, science is concerned with how. Okay, science is concerned with how. So tantra means technique. So this treatise is a scientific one. Science is not concerned with why, science is concerned with how. That is the basic difference between philosophy and science. Philosophy asks why this existence. Philosophy asks why this existence. Science asks how this existence. Okay, the moment you ask the question how, method, technique become important, theories become meaningless, experience becomes the center. Tantra is science. Tantra is not philosophy. To understand philosophy is easy because only your intellect is required. If you can understand language, if you can understand concept, you can understand philosophy. Okay, you need not change. You require no transformation. Ask as you are. Sorry, as you are as you are you can understand the philosophy but not tantra. Okay, you will need a change, rather a mutation, unless you are different. Tantra is not an intellectual proposition, it is an experience. Unless you are receptive, ready, vulnerable to the experience, it is not going to come to you. Okay, philosophy is concerned with the mind. Note it. Philosophy is concerned with the mind. Your head is enough. Your totality is not required. Tantra needs you in your totality. It is a deeper challenge. Okay, you will have to be in it wholly. It is not fragmentary. A different approach, a different attitude, a different mind to receive it is required. Because of this, Devi is asking apparently philosophical questions. Tantra starts with Devi's questions. All the questions can be tackled philosophically. Really, any question can be tackled in two ways: philosophically or totally intellectually. Intellectually, ठीक है, or existentially. For example, if someone asks what is love, you can tackle it intellectually. You can discuss, you can propose theories, you can argue for a particular hypothesis. You can create a system, a doctrine, and you may not have known love at all. To create a doctrine, experience is not needed. Really, on the contrary, the less you know, the better, because then you can propose a system unhesitatingly. Only a blind man can easily define what light is. Very important. Only a blind man can easily define what a light is. When you do not know, you are bold. Ignorance is always bold. Knowledge hesitates, and the more you know, the more you feel that the ground underneath is dissolving. The more you know, the more you feel how ignorant you are. The more you know, the more you feel how ignorant you are. And those who are really wise, they become ignorant. Okay, they become as simple as child. Okay, as simple as child, or as simple as idiots. The less you know, the better. To be philosophical, to be dogmatic, to be doctrinaire, this is easy. To tackle a problem intellectually is a very easy, but to tackle a problem existentially, not just to think about it, but to live it through, to go through it, to allow yourself to be transformed through it. Okay, it is difficult, that is to know love. One will have to be in love. That is dangerous, because you will not remain the same. The experience is going to change you. The moment you will enter love, you enter a different person, and when you come out, you will not be able to recognize your old face. It will not belong to you. A discontinuity will have happened. Now there is a gap. The old man is dead, and the new man has come. That is what is known as rebirth, being twice born. Tantra is non-philosophical and existential. So of course, Devi asks questions which appear to be philosophical, but Shiva is not getting to answer. Shiva is not getting to answer them that way. So it is better to understand it is in the beginning, otherwise you will be puzzled, because Shiva is not going to answer a single question. All the questions that Devi is asking, Shiva is not going to answer at all, and still he answers, and really only he has answered them and no one else. But on a different plane, Devi asked, what is your reality, my lord? He is not going to answer it. On the contrary, he will give a technique. And if Devi goes through this technique, this technique, this technique, she will know. So the answer is round about. It is not direct. It is not going to answer, who am I? He will give a technique. Do it and you will know. For Tantra, doing is knowing. For Tantra, doing is knowing, and there is no other knowing unless you do something, unless you change, unless you have a different perspective to look with, unless you move in an altogether different dimension than the intellect. There is no answer, and answers can be given. They are all lies. All philosophies are lies. You ask a question, and the philosophy gives you an answer. It satisfies you or doesn't satisfy you. If it satisfies you, you become a converter. If it satisfies you, you become a converter. So the philosophy, but you remain the same. Converter to the philosophy, but you remain the same. If it doesn't satisfy you, you go on searching for some other philosophy to be converted to, but you remain the same. You are not touched at all. You are not changed. So whether you are a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Christian or a Jaina, it makes no difference. The real person behind the facade of a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Christian is the same. Only words differ, or clothes. The man who is going to the church or the temple or the mosque is the same man, only faces differ, and they are faces which are false. They are masks. Behind the mask you will find the same man, the same anger, the same aggression, the same violence, the same greed, the same lust, everything the same. Is Mohammedan sexuality different from Hindu sexuality? Is Christian violence different from Hindu violence? It is the same. The reality remains the same. Only clothes differ. Tantra is not concerned with your clothes. Tantra is concerned with you. If you ask a question, it shows where you are. It shows also that wherever you are, you cannot see. That is why there is the question. A blind man asks, "What is light?" And philosophy will start answering. And philosophy will start answering. And philosophy will start answering what is light. Tantra will know only this. If a man is asking what is light, it shows only that he is blind. Tantra will start operating on the same man, changing the man so that he can see. Tantra will not say what is light. Tantra will tell how to attain insight, how to attain seeing, how to attain vision. When the vision is there, the answer will be there. Tantra will not give you the answer. Tantra will give you the technique to attain the answer. Now this answer is not going to be intellectual. If you say something about light to a blind man, this is intellectual. If the blind man himself becomes capable of seeing, this is existential. This is what I mean when I say that tantra is what I mean when I say tantra is existential. So Shiva is not going to Shiva is not going to answer Devi's question. Still, he will answer the first thing. The second thing, this is a different type of language. You must know something about it before we enter into it. All the Tantra treatises are dialogues between Shiva and Devi. Devi questions and Shiva answers. All the Tantra treatises start that way. Why? Why this method? It is very significant. It is not a dialogue between a teacher and a disciple. It is a dialogue between two lovers. Okay, two lovers. And tantra signifies through it is it a very meaningful thing. That is, the deeper teachings cannot be given unless there is love between the two. The disciple and the master. The disciple and master must become deep lovers. Only then can the higher and the beyond be expressed. So it is a language of love. The disciple must be an attitude of love, but not only this, because friends can be lovers. Tantra says the disciple moves as receptivity, so the disciple must be in a feminine receptivity. Only then is something possible. You need not be a woman. not be a woman to be a disciple, but you need to be a feminine attitude of receptivity. When Devi asks, it means the feminine attitude asks. Why this emphasis on the feminine attitude? Men and women are not only physically different, they are psychologically different. Sex is not only a difference in the body; it is a difference in psychologies. Also, a feminine mind means receptivity receptivity. Okay, total receptivity, surrender, love. A disciple needs a feminine philosophy, otherwise he will not be able to learn. He will not be able to learn. Okay, you can ask, but if you are not open, then you cannot be answered. You can ask a question and still remain closed. You can ask a question and still remain closed. Then the answer cannot penetrate you. Okay, your doors are closed. You are dead. You are not open. A feminine receptivity means a warm like receptivity. Okay, in the inner depth, a feminine receptivity means a warm like receptivity in the depth inner depth. But you need a feminine attitude of receptivity. When Devi asks, it means the feminine attitude asks. Why this emphasis on the feminine attitude? Men and women are not only physically different, they are psychologically different. Sex is not only a different enough in the body, it is a difference in psychologies. Also, a feminine mind means receptivity, a total receptivity, surrender, love, and a discipline needs a feminine psychology, otherwise he will not be able to learn. You can ask, but if you are not open, then you cannot be answered. You can ask a question and still remain closed. Then the answer cannot penetrate you. Your doors are closed. You are dead. You are not open. A feminine receptivity means a warm like receptivity in the inner depth, so that you can receive. And not only that, much more is implied. A woman is not only receiving something the moment she receives it is becomes a part of her body. A child is received, a woman conceived. The moment there is the conception, the child has become part of the feminine body. It is not alien, it is not foreign, it has been absorbed. Now the child will live not as something added to the mother, but just as a part, as the mother. And the child is not only received, the feminine body becomes creative. The child begins to grow. Okay, a disciple needs a warm like receptivity. Whatsoever it is received, it is not be gathered as a dead knowledge. Okay, the disciple needs a warm like receptivity. Whatsoever is received is not to be gathered as dead knowledge. It must grow in you. It must become blood and bones in you. Okay, it must become a part. Now it must grow. This growth will change you, we will transform you, the receiver. That is why Tantra uses this device. Every treatise starts with Devi asking a question and Shiva replying to it. Devi is Shiva's consort, his feminine part. One thing more. Now, modern psychology and depth psychology particularly says that man is both man and woman. No one is just male and no one is just female. Everyone is bisexual. Okay, both sexes are there. There is a very recent research in the West, but for Tantra this has been one of the most basic concepts for thousands of years. You must have seen some pictures of Shiva as Ardhanarishwar, half man, half woman. There's no other concept like it in the whole history of man. Shiva is depicted as half man, half woman. So Devi is not just a concert. She is Shiva's other half. Okay. Devi is not just a concert, she is Shiva's other half. And unless a disciple becomes the other half of the master, becomes the other half of the master, it is impossible to convey the higher teachings, the eco ecotric methods. When you become one, then there is no other. When you are one with the master, so totally one, so deeply one, there is no argument, no logic, no reason. One simply absorbs, one becomes a warm, and then the teachings begins to grow in you and change you. That is why Tantra is written in love language. Something must also be understood about love language. There are two types of language types of language: logical language and love language. There are basic difference between the two, between that two. Logical language is aggressive, argumentative, violent. If I use logical language, I become aggressive upon your mind. I try to convince you, to convert you, to make a puppet of you. My argument is are right and you are wrong. My argument is right and you are wrong. Logical language is egocentric. I am right and you are wrong, so I must prove that I am right and you are wrong. I am not concerned with you, I am concerned with my ego. My ego is always high. My ego is always, and Tantra will give you the answer. Okay. You must have seen some pictures of Shiva. Okay. I am not concerned with. I am not concerned with. I'm not. I'm not concerned with you. I am concerned with my ego. My ego is always right. Love language is totally different. I am not concerned with my ego. I'm concerned with you. I'm not concerned to prove something to strengthen my ego. I'm concerned to help you. It is a compassion to help you to grow, to help you to grow, to help you to transform, to help you to be reborn. Okay. Secondly, logic will always be intellectual. Concepts and principles will be significant. Arguments will be significant. With love language, what is said is not so significant, rather it is the way it is said, the container. The word is not important, the content. The word is not important, the content, the message is more important. It is a heart to heart talk, a mind to mind discussion. It is not a debate, it is a communication. So this is rare. Devi is sitting in the lap of Shiva. Devi is sitting in the lap of Shiva and asking, and Shiva answers. It is a love dialogue. Okay, no conflict, as if Shiva is speaking to himself. Why this emphasis on love? Love language. Because if you are in love with your master, then the whole guest, gestalt changes. It becomes different. Then you are not hearing his words, then you are drinking him. Then words are irrelevant. Really, the silence between the words becomes more significant. What he is saying may be meaningful or it may not be meaningful, but it is his eyes, his gestures, his compassion, his love. Okay, that is why Tantra has a fixed device, a structure. Every treatise starts with Devi asking and Shiva answering. Okay, no argument is going to be there. There is no wastage of words. Okay, there are very simple statements of fact, telegraphic messages with no view to convince, but just to relate. If you encounter Shiva with a question with a closed mind, okay, he will not answer you in this way. First you closed First your closedness has to be broken. Then he will have to be aggressive. Then your prejudices, then your preconceptions have to be destroyed. Unless you are cleared completely of your past, nothing can be given to you. But this is not so with his consort Devi. With Devi there is no past. Remember, when you are deeply in love, your mind ceases to be. There is no past, only the present moment becomes everything. When you are in love, the present is the only time, the now is all. No past, no future. So Devi is just open. There's no defense, nothing to be cleared, nothing to be destroyed. The ground is ready, only a seed has to be dropped. The ground is not only ready ready but welcoming receptive, asking to be impregnated. Okay, impregnated impregnated. So all these things that we are going to discuss will be telegraphic. They are just sutras, but each telegraphic message given by Shiva is worth as Veda. Okay, worth as Bible, worth as Quran. Each single sentence can become the base of great scriptures. Scriptures are logical. You have to propose, defend, argue. Here there is no argument, just simple statements of love. Thirdly, the very words Vigyan Bhairav, Tantra mean the technique of going beyond consciousness. Vigyan means consciousness, Bhairav means the state which is beyond consciousness, and Tantra means the method, the method of going beyond consciousness. This is the supreme doctrine. Without any doctrine, we are unconscious. So all the religious teachings are concerned with how to go beyond unconsciousness, how to be conscious. Okay, for example Krishna Murti, Jain, they are all concerned with how to create more consciousness. Okay, more consciousness, because we are unconscious. Okay, we are unconscious. So how to be more aware, alert from unconsciousness, how to move toward consciousness. But tantra says that is a duality, consciousness, unconscious and conscious. If you move from the unconsciousness to consciousness, you are moving from duality one duality. You are moving you are moving uh, देखो, from consciousness to unconsciousness. You are moving from one duality to another. Move beyond both. Unless you move beyond both, you can never reach the ultimate. Okay, so be neither the unconscious nor the conscious. Just be beyond. Be neither the conscious nor the unconscious. Okay, just be. This is going beyond. Go yoga, going beyond Zen, going beyond all techniques, all teachings. Okay, Vigyan means consciousness, and Bhairav is a specific term, a tantra term for one who has gone beyond. That is why Shiva is known as Bhairav, and Devi is known as Bharvi. Shiva is known as Bhairav, and Devi is known as Bharvi. Those who have gone beyond the dualities in our experience, only love can give a glimpse. That is why love becomes the very basic device to impart tantric wisdom. In our experience, we can say that only love is something which goes beyond duality. When two persons are in love, the deeper they move into it, the 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 less and less the less and less they are two, the more and more they become one. And a point comes and a peak is reached when only apparently they are two, inwardly they are one. The duality is transcended. Only in this sense does Jesus saying that God is love become meaningful, otherwise not. In our experience, love is nearest to godliness. Okay, no, it is not that God is loving as Christians go on interpreting that God has a fatherly love for you. Nonsense. God is love. It is a tantric statement. It means love is the only reality in our experience which reaches nearest to God, to the divine. Why? Because in love, oneness is felt. Bodies remain two, but something beyond the bodies merges and becomes one. Okay, that is why there's so much hankering after sex. Okay, the real hankering is after oneness. Okay, but that oneness is not sexual. In sex, two bodies have only a deceptive feelings of becoming one, but they are not one. They are only joined together, but for a single moment two bodies forget themselves in each other, and a certain physical oneness is felt. This hankering is not bad, but to stop at it is dangerous. This hankering is not bad, but to stop at it is dangerous. This hankering shows a deeper urge to feel oneness. In love, on a higher plane, the inner one merges into the reality, and there is a feeling of oneness. Duality dissolves. Only in this non-dual love can we have a glimpse of what is the state of a Bhairav. We may say that the state of a Bhairav is absolute love with no coming back. From the peak of love, there is no feeling back. It is remaining on the peak. We have made Shiva's abode on Kailash. That is simply symbolic. It is the highest peak, the holiest peak. We have made it Shiva's abode. Okay, we can go there, but we will have to come down. It cannot be our abode. We can go on a pilgrimage. It is a tirth yatra, a pilgrimage, a journey. We can touch for a single moment the highest peak, then we will have to come back. In love, this holy pilgrimage happens, but not for all, because almost no one moves beyond sex. So we go on living in the valley, the dark valley. Sometimes someone moves the peak of love, but then he falls back because it is so dizzying. It is so high and you are so low, and it is so difficult to live there. Those who have loved, they know how difficult it is to be constantly in love. One has to come back again and again. It is Shiva's abode. He lives there. It is his home. A Bhairav lives in love. That is his abode. When I say that is his abode, I mean now he is not even aware of love, because if you live in on Kailash, you will not be aware that this is Kailash. This is a peak. The peak becomes a plane. Shiva is not aware of love. We are aware of love because we live in non-love, and above, because of the contrast we feel love. Shiva is love. The state of Bhairava means the Bhairava means that one has become love, not loving. Okay, one has become love. One lives on the peak. The peak has become his abode. How to make this highest peak possible? Beyond duality, beyond unconsciousness, beyond consciousness, beyond the body and beyond the soul, beyond the world and beyond the so-called moksha, liberation. How to reach this peak? The technique is tantra. The technique is tantra, but tantra is pure technique, so it is going to be difficult to understand. First, let us understand the question what Devi is asking. O Shiva, what is your reality? Devi asks. Why this question? You can also ask this question, but it will not carry the same meaning. So try to understand why Devi asks, what is your reality? Devi is in deep love. When you are in deep love for the first time, you encounter the inner reality. Then Shiva is not the form, then Shiva is not the body. When you are in love, the body of the beloved falls away, disappears. The form is no more, and the formless. So when you are a Hindu or Mohammedan, okay, one thing. A feminine receptivity means one thing is more. now modern psychology अच्छा हम लोग काफ़ी आगे निकल आए थे. We are conscious. Okay, हाँ, you are reality. Okay, why this question? You can also ask this question, but it will not carry the same meaning. So try to understand why Devi asks, what is your reality? Devi is in deep love. Okay, deep love. What is your reality? Devi is deep love. When you are in deep love for the first time, you encounter the inner reality. Then Shiva is not the form, then Shiva is not the body. When you are in love, the body of the beloved falls away, disappears. Disappears. The form is no more, and the formless is revealed. You are facing an abyss. That is why we are so afraid of love. We can face a body, we can face a face, we can face a form, but we are afraid of facing an abyss. If you love someone, if you really love, his body is bound to disappear. In some moments of climax or peak, the form will dissolve, and through the beyond, you will enter the formless. That is why we are afraid. It is falling into a bottomless abyss. So this question is not just a simple curiosity. Oh Shiva, what is your reality? Okay, Devi asks. Devi must have fallen in love with the form. Things start that way. She must have loved this man as a man, and now, when the love has come of age, when the love has flowered, this man has disappeared. He has become formless. Now he is to bound. He is to be found nowhere. O Shiva, what is your reality? It is question asked in a very intense love moment, and when questions are raised, they become different according to the mind in which they are asked. So create the situation, the milieu or the question in your mind. Devi must be at a loss. Shiva has disappeared. When love reaches its peak, the love disappears. When does this happen? This happens because really everyone is formless. You are not a body. You move as a body. Okay, you live as a body, but you are not a body. You are not a body. Okay, when we see someone from the outside, he is a body. Love penetrates within. Then we are not seeing a person from the outside. Love can see a person as a person. Okay, we can see himself from within. Then the form disappears. Okay, a Jain monk, Rinjai, attained his enlightenment, and the first thing he asked was, where is my body? Where has my body gone? Okay. And he began to search. He called his disciples and said, go and find out where my body is. I have lost my body. He had entered the formless. Okay. You are also a formless existence, but you know yourself not directly but from others' eyes. He had entered the formless. You are also a formless existence, but you know yourself not directly but from others' eyes. You know through a mirror. Sometimes while looking in the mirror, close your eyes and then think, meditate. If there was no mirror, how could you have known your face? Okay. If there You know through the mirror. Sometimes while looking in the mirror, close your eyes and then think, meditate. If there was no mirror, how could you have known your face? If there was no mirror, then there would have been no face. You do not have a face. Mirrors give you faces. Think of a world where there are no mirrors. You are alone. No mirror at all, not even others' eyes working as mirrors. You are alone on a lonely island. Nothing can mirror you. Then will you have any face, or will you have any body? You cannot have one. You do not have one at all. We know ourselves only through others. We know, this is very important. We know ourselves only through others, okay, and the others can only know the other form. And the others and only and and the others can only know the outer form. That is why we become identified with it. Another Jain mystic, Huai used to say to his disciples, when you have lost your head meditating, come immediately to me. When you lose your head, come immediately to me. When you begin to feel there is no head, do not be afraid. Come immediately to me. This is the right moment. Now something can be taught to you with a head. No teaching is possible. The head always comes in between. Devi asks Shiva, oh Shiva, what is your reality? You are you. Who are you? Okay. The form has disappeared. Hence the question in love, you entered the other as himself. It is not you answering. You become one, and for the first time you are no and absent, a formless presence. That is why centuries and centuries, we were not making any sculptures, any pictures of Shiva. We were only making Shivalinga. The symbol, the Shivalinga is just a formless form. When you love someone, when you enter someone Shivalinga, he becomes just a luminous presence. Then the Shivalinga, Alinga is just a luminous presence. Okay, just an aura of light, luminous presence. That is why Devi asks, what is your reality? Okay, what is this wonder filled universe? Okay, we know the universe, but we never know it as wonder filled. Children know, lovers know, sometimes poets and madmen know. We do not know that the world is wonder filled. Everything is just repetitive. Everything is just repetitive. No wonder, no poetry, just flat prose. Repetitive, flat prose. It does not create a song in you. It does not create a dance in you. It does not give birth to the poetry inside. The whole universe looks mechanical. Okay, mechanical. Children look at it with wonder filled eyes. When the eyes are wonder filled, the universe is wonder filled. When you are in love, you again become like child. Okay, children. Jesus says, only those who are like children will enter my kingdom of God. Why? Because if the universe is not a wonder, you cannot be religious. The universe can be explained, then your approach is scientific. The universe is either known or unknown, but that which is unknown can be known any day. It is not unknowable. The universe becomes unknowable, uh, mystery only when your eyes are wonder filled. Devi asks, what is this wonder filled universe? Suddenly there is the jump from a personal question to a very impersonal one. She was asking, what is your reality? And then suddenly, what is this wonder filled universe? When from disappears your beloved, becomes the universe, the formless, the infinite. Suddenly Devi becomes aware aware that she is not asking a question about Shiva, she is asking a question about the whole universe. Now Shiva has become the whole universe. Now all the stars are moving in him. All the stars are moving in him, and the whole firmament and the whole space is surrounded by him. Now he is the great engulfing factor. Okay, engulfing factor engulfing factor, the great encompassing. Carl Jaspers has defined God as the great encompassing. When you enter into love, into a deep, intimate world of love, the person disappears, the form disappears, and the lover becomes just a door to the universe. Your curiosity can be a scientific one. Then you have to approach through logic. Then you must not think of the formless. Then be aware of the formless. Then remain content with the form. Science is always concerned with the form. If anything formless is proposed to a scientific mind, he will cut it into formless. It takes a form. It is meaningless. First, give it a form, a definite form only. Then does the inquiry start. In love, if there is form, then there is no end. Okay, end to it. Dissolve the form. When thing becomes formless, dg without boundaries, everything entering another, the whole universe becoming a oneness. Then only it is a wonder filled universe. What constitutes seed? The other question है, another question. Devi goes on from the universe. She goes on to ask, what constitutes seed? This formless, wonder-filled universe. From where does it come? From where does it originate, or does it not originate? What is the seed? Who centers the universal wheel? Ask Devi. This wheel goes on moving and moving. This great change, this constant flux. But who centers this wheel? Where is the axis? Where is the axis? The center, the unmoving center. She doesn't stop for any answer. She goes on asking as if she is not asking anyone, as if talking to herself. What is this life beyond form, pervading form? How many we enter it fully, above space and time, names and description. Let my doubts be cleared. The emphasis is not on question but on doubts. Let my doubts be cleared. This is very significant. If you are asking an intellectual question, you are asking for a definite answer to so that your problem is solved. But Devi says, "Let my doubts be cleared." She is not really asking about answers. She is asking for a transformation of her mind, because a doubting mind will remain a doubting mind whatsoever answers are given. Note Note, if a doubting mind will remain a doubted mind, and as answers are irrelevant. If I give you one answer and you have a doubting mind, you will doubt it. If I give you another answer, you will doubt it. Doubt that also. You will have a doubting mind. A doubting mind means you will put a question mark to anything. So, answers are useless. You ask me who created the world, and I tell you A created the world. Then you are bound to ask who created A. So the real problem is not how to answer questions. The real problem is how to change the doubting mind, how to create a mind which is not doubting or which is truthful. So Devi says, "Let my doubt be cleared." Two or three things more. When you ask a question, you may be asking for many reasons. One may be just this, that you want a confirmation. You already know the answer. You have the answer. You just want it to be confirmed that your answer is right. Then your question is false. Pseudo. It is not a question. You may be asking a question not because you are ready to change yourself, but as a curiosity. The mind goes on questioning. In the mind, questions come as leaves come on a tree. That is the very nature of the mind. So if it goes on questioning, it matters not what you are questioning. With anything given to the mind, it will create a question. It is a machine to grind out, to create questions. So give it anything and it will cut it into pieces and create many questions. No one question answered, and the mind will create many questions from the answer. This has been the whole history of philosophy. Uh, Bertrand Russell remembers that when he was a child, Bertrand Russell when remembers that when he was a child, he thought that one day when he will be mature enough to understand all philosophy. Bertrand Russell philosophy, all questions will be answered. Then later, when he was 80, he said, "Now I can see that my own questions are there standing as they were standing when I was a child. No one questions have no other questions have come up because of these theories of philosophy." So he said, "When I was young, I used to say philosophy is an inquiry for ultimate answers. Now I cannot say it. It is an inquiry for endless questions." It and endless questions. So one question creates one answer, and many questions. One question creates one answer and many questions. The doubting mind is the problem. Devi says, "Do not concern with my questions. I have I have asked so many things. What is your reality? What is your reality? What is this wonder filled universe? What constitutes a seed? Who centers the universal wheel? What is the life beyond form? How can we enter it fully above time and space? But do not be concerned with my questions. Let my doubts be cleared. I ask the questions because they are in my mind. I ask them just to show you my mind, but do not pay much attention to them. Really, answers will not fulfill my need. My need is let my doubts be cleared. But how can the doubts be cleared? How can the doubt be cleared? Will any answer do? Is there any answer which will clear your doubts? Mind is the doubt. It is not that the mind doubts. Mind is the doubt. Mind is the doubt. Okay. Unless the mind dissolves, doubts cannot be cleared. Shiva will answer. His answers are teachings, techniques, the oldest, most ancient techniques. But you can call them the latest also because nothing can be added to them. They are complete 112 techniques. They have taken in all philosophy possibilities, all the ways of clearing the mind, transcending the mind. Not a single method could be added to Shiva's 112 methods. And this book, Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, is 5,000 year old. Nothing can be added. There is no possibility to add anything. It is exhaustive, complete. It is the most ancient and yet the latest, and yet the newest. Old like old hills, the methods seem eternal, and they are new like a dewdrop before the sun because they are so fresh. These 112 methods of meditation constitutes the whole science of transforming mind. We will enter them one by one. We will try to comprehend first intellectually, but use your intellect only as an instrument, not as a master. Use it as an instrument to understand something, but do not go on creating barriers with it. When we will be talking about these techniques, just put aside your past knowledge, your you have collected. Put them aside. You are just They are just dust gathered on the road. Encounter these methods with a fresh mind, with alertness of course, but not with argumentation. And do not create a fallacy that an argumentative mind is an alert mind. It is not, because the moment you move into the arguments, you have lost the awareness, you have lost the alertness. Then you are not here. These methods do not belong to any religion. Remember, they are not Hindu. Just as the theory of relativity is not Jewish because Einstein conceived it, and radio and television are not Christian. No one say, why are you using electricity? This is Christian because a Christian mind conceived it. Science does not belong to race and religion. Okay. And Tantra is a science. So remember, this is not Hindu at all. These techniques were conceived by Hindus, but these techniques are not Hindu. That is why these techniques will not mention any religious rituals. No temple is needed. You are quite enough for a temple yourself. You are the lab. The whole experiment is go on within you. No belief is needed. This is not religion, this is science. This is science. No belief is needed. It is not required to believe in the Quran or the Vedas or in the Buddha or in the Mahavira. No one belief is needed. Only a daringness to experiment is enough. Courage to experiment is enough. That is the beauty a Mohammedan can practice, and he will reach to the deeper meaning of the Quran. A Hindu can practice, and he will, for the first time, know what the Vedas are. And the Jaina can practice, and a Buddhist can practice. They need not leave their religion. Tantra will fulfill them. Wherever they are, Tantra will be helpful. Whatsoever their chosen path. So remember this: Tantra is pure science. You may be a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Parsi or whatsoever. Tantra doesn't touch your religion at all. Tantra says that religion is a social affair. So belong to any religion, it is a irrelevant. But you can transform yourself, and that transform needs a scientific methodology. When you are ill, when you have fallen ill, or you have caught tuberculosis or anything, then where you are a Hindu or Mohammedan makes no difference. The tuberculosis remains indifferent to your Hinduism or your Mohammedanism, to your beliefs, political, social, or religious. Tuberculosis has to be treated scientifically. There is no Hindu tuberculosis, no Mohammedan tuberculosis. Okay.